Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Arjun Kumar Agarwal and today I'm going to tell you guys about my exam story, my experience, the mistakes I did, the rights I did, the wrongs I did, and how that impacted me and my result, and what I learned from it and what you can learn from it, right? So today I'll be talking about two exams. One was July NICT and the next is NEET 2021 in September. So before the July NICT, the mocks I was given and if the grand test that I was attempting, I was getting a rank and results which would have fetched me the seat I wanted, and I was I started expecting a lot, and that expectation somewhat hampered me and my result. I did not get the result I wanted to. I did not get the rank I wanted, and thus I could not get the seat I wanted in INICET July. I did not pick up anything, but I learned a lot. I learned a lot from that, and that the things I learned from there definitely helped me achieve second rank in NEET 2021. So starting with first was sleep cycle and everything around it. Before the INI July session, I was constantly watching Euro Cup for the past 30 days, sleeping in at something 3:30 a.m. and waking up at 11 a.m. So that completely messed up my sleep cycle and time cycle, because the actual paper was at 9 a.m. So I had to wake up at 6:37 a.m. to reach the center on time, and I could not just do it. I just could not do it on the day. I could not sleep due to the anxiety and everything. I could not sleep. I could not, I was very, very drowsy. I could not read the questions properly. I was reaching to the end of the question. I just could not recall what was there in the question. Even to the day, if you ask me that this was the question in the INICET, I probably would not be able to answer it. Okay, this was there or not. Not the question, just if the question was there or not in the paper. That was how drowsy I was. During also, like, the day before, I tried to study a lot. I tried to do a lot of things. I should have stopped earlier. I should have relaxed. I did not. I studied up till 10. Even after lying down to sleep, I came back to the books because I remembered something. Oh, I have to see that thing. And it just all kicked in the panic and the anxiety. I could not sleep. I probably slept just 1 hour or 2 hours. In the morning, I was drowsy, and during the paper, I still remember, I realized that okay, it's not going to happen this time, but at least try and attempt the paper as much as I can. Try to give it your best shot, and that's the best you can do, right, for the time being. And this is not the end of the world, and it is definitely not. No paper is the end of the world, okay? You have to understand that. So I attempted the paper. I attempted it completely. I came out of the examination hall. I was not laughing like I am right now. I was almost in tears. Like what happened? What it was just a nightmare. And so from there, I even before exiting the exam hall, they kept us inside for half an hour, 1 hour, and I had started to plan out things, how I'm going to do things in the next 40 days. And with respect to this plan, I made sure that I gave a substantial amount of dedication to the non-academic factors, which turned out to be very important for me. I'll tell you right now how and what were they. Also, one thing I did do was I did retrogradely. I went before the INICET. I went question wise, topic wise, and I try to do a lot of hi-fi things and did not stick to the basics, did not touch much of my notes, and that was a blunder. Okay, that was something I realized later on that hit my confidence. I was not confident going into the paper. I was not backing myself with the options and everything. So that's what reading the notes did for me the next time around. All in all, I got my result. I was expecting way worse than what I had received. I had a rank of 128, was not getting, so did not pick up any seat, was not getting my preferred one, so did not pick up any seat, right? If I would have, I would not have studied for the NEET. That's probably basic, right? So I did not pick up any seat. I worked hard. I joined a public library. I sought my sleep cycle a lot. I started waking up at 6 a.m. in the morning, 6:37 a.m. in the morning. I stopped any sorts of caffeine after 3 p.m. and that changed me for the good, and that changed my cycle for the good, and that helped me a lot. I just planned to do two things in the next 45 days. That was my primary notes and my previous year questions. These were the two things which I did. I did write 3 to 4 GTs. Still remember, I could analyze a lot from that, and it helped me recognize what my weak topics were, and I could do that. It was completely somewhat based on the previous year topics, so it was very helpful for me at that point of time. So 5 to 7 days before the exam, I just did one thing, that was previous year questions and previous year topics on the loop, right? And that was it. That was what my preparation was entirely based on. I was confident, I was satisfied with what I have done. And also during the INICET, I still remember the time I was going to the center, I took a book with me. Okay, that was also very good mistake that I made, and that also kicked in all the anxiety and pressures and everything. And I tried to listen to songs that were pumping me up, rage filled songs or something like that I wanted to pump myself up, full energy and everything. But I realized later on that the more calm I am, the more relaxed I am, the better the paper would be for me. Okay, so yeah, that's true for me. So the night before the NEET paper, okay, everything's I'm talking to my friends, and there is anxiety and pressure. There is a minimal level of anxiety and pressure. That's perfectly normal. A small level of anxiety is normal if you are prepared. Okay, I shut my books round about at 5 p.m. I watched Friends, and I watched it for 2-3 hours on YouTube. Best of Friends season 3, season 4, or season 5, I don't remember. I slept well. I slept early at 10:30, 11. I slept well. I woke up at 5:36. Just before sleeping, 10:30, I received a message from NB that you have to report at 7 a.m. And that was something that was very late on their part, but obviously you cannot take any risks. So I planned my everything according to that, and I left my home after a very good bath. I left my home. I met my grandmother, who lives just 3 hours besides me. But as I was leaving for the center from there, I realized that okay, I have a runny nose today, because it was the season was changing, and I have allergic rhinitis. So I came back home. And I used my fluticasone spray. I went back, and my nose was fine. Thankfully, I went to the center. Everything was fine. I came to the room where I was had to give the paper, and the biometrics were all fine. Then while I was standing in the queue for biometrics, I just thought to myself, what if I get that window seat? I can at least pass my 1.5-2 hours here till 9 o'clock, and at least I can see out of the window. Otherwise it would be very boring for me to sit for 1.5 hours here. And luckily I got that seat. I was just sitting in the window seat. I was looking outside. It was a very pleasant day. I had come to the center, I had drove myself with my family, and I wanted to just absorb the air in my face and just being relaxed. I wanted to activate my mind with some I really like to drive, so I wanted to do the things I like to do before I enter the examination. So I drove myself, and that was very relaxing, very calming. At the center, I was sitting on the window, and I was looking out. I asked myself that would I have changed anything in my last 1.5 years, anything different I would have done for my preparation? And my answer was a point blank no. I would not have changed anything in my preparation. I was satisfied with what I had done in the last 1.5 years, and I was okay with it, that culminating on that day. And that was the time I realized that it's okay even if I blanked out during the paper, if I am not able to get what I want, if I can do it again, it's no issues, I'll do it again. I was confident, I was satisfied, and I was not having any pressure on me. I was not expecting anything. So all in all these factors helped me analyze the paper better, analyze my realize myself better, my potentials and everything. As soon as I started the paper, I still remember the first question of the paper was probably the toughest of the paper, as I've heard from people. It was that one question from biochemistry on electron transport chain and the inhibitors of it. And that was my first question. I was like, okay, this paper is going to be difficult. But later on, when we move forward in the paper, I realized that it's a simpler paper than what I had expected. And but being able to think in that first question and not panicking was very important for me. Otherwise, probably I would not have been sitting here in front of you making this video, right? It could have been very different. if I had panicked or if I had had an anxiety, some more of anxiety during that time. That one question was, I would probably remember it for the whole of my life. And after the paper, during the paper, I was trying to find the atypical questions, and I was very awake and very focused. Funny thing happened during the paper though. I went to the washroom once. I do that regularly, to take a break, to take a breather, to 5 minutes breather. I went to the washroom, but when I returned, the biometrics could not identify me. So that was the point where I could have panicked again, but I did not somehow. So they called me once or twice again to the biometric machine, and they performed it all over again. But all in all, I think that happened correctly fine. And after the paper, after I completed the paper, I still remember that my mother and father asking me and everything. I came back home and we had a good time. I was satisfied with my attempt, and I was expecting a decent result. Obviously, you cannot expect a single digit rank. It's something that you can never expect, right? It was a surprise for me. I was not expecting it. I was expecting a decent result because I had a good paper, yeah. But it was a very pleasant surprise for me, the single digit rank. And all in all, I want you guys to remember that, stay motivated, keep believing in yourself. You will have failures. Your definition of failures are going to be different. For me, July INICET was a failure for me, right? It probably would not be failure for someone else, but for me it was. But I learned a lot from it. So if you're learning from your failures, you're moving ahead, right? So keep doing that. You will have failures. You'll move from that, and you have to learn from that. Try to learn as much as you can. Try to make the failure the reason of your success, right? If you're able to do it, the failure will never pinch you. July NICT never pinches me today. Okay, I can say that for sure. It never pinches me because I learned a lot from it. I stick to the basics from it. I managed my sleep cycle with it. I took off the pressure from me. I was more relaxed. So these are the things that will always help you in life and in the exam, definitely. Okay, and keep believing in yourself, and please do tell me what videos you would want me to make, what topics would you want me to cover, and please like and share the video. You can subscribe to the channel down below by clicking the subscribe button. And thank you so much, guys. Thank you.